Greetings, everybody. Namaste. Happy, holy time. So, as we pause for a bit of spiritual renewal, I pray and bestow a blessing for you that it is absolutely renewal, restoration, rejuvenation, liberation, everything in the world that your being, your emotional being, your spiritual being, your whole being is calling for. And as this time of Lent can often be seen for some as a time of sacrifice, of fasting, of repentance, certainly rooted in the 40 days that Jesus spent in the wilderness. It's also traditionally marked by giving up something, and it may be true for you to do that. It's also possible that it can be reframed, this time that we're in, as an opportunity to take something on, to break through, to become new. And in Unity and New Thought teachings, we understand that Lent is not just a time of deprivation, but is a vital, essential, elemental opportunity for deep spiritual transformation and deepening our spiritual practices. So, whatever it means to you, I'm not here to tell you how to believe. I'm here today to encourage you, hopefully, to inspire you and to further inspire myself to whatever spiritual practice I'm in and have to continue to deepen that and to look at what I can let go of during this time. What would I consciously let go of? Some habits, distractions, attachments, anything that would hinder my own spiritual growth, my emotional maturity, my spiritual maturity. And there's no way to get more spiritually mature until I get more emotionally mature. So, in our practices of unity and new thought, we align with that of letting be, of letting go. And our founder, Charles Fillmore, said it as that this process during Lent, and I think it's not just for the time of Lent, but a process of denial, of denying what has power, not in the sense of rejecting, not in the sense of pushing away or pushing back, because we know that only fuels that, but in a conscious dissolving of limited fears, a conscious dissolving of BS, our former belief systems, through inquiry. Is this actually true for me? Can I absolutely know this to be true? What am I actually convicted in? Where are my convictions? How do I react when I'm believing what I'm believing? Who would I be if I didn't believe that anymore? And as we can shift out of that, then there's a time of order, then disorder, which could be right now. And the people in my own life and the people I'm serving have reported there's quite a bit of disorder showing up in their life. That may be true for you too, whether you're aware of it or not, or admitting it or not. And then reorder. So order, disorder, chaos, the messy middle, Brene Brown calls it, and then order, which is a new order, a new way of being, like the resurrection, a new way of being in the world. So, this is our invitation to let go of whatever we can: resentments, grudges, self doubts, false narratives, the BS I was referring to, that block us and blind us and separate us from our own divine nature. And Charles Fillmore said it as Lent is a season of spiritual growth, a season for spiritual growth, a time to give up erroneous thinking, a time to make greater room for the truth, what is true for you. So it may be a time to take on a new spiritual practice. Most of us listening to this already have a devotional spiritual practice. And I know for me, I can get lackadaisical in it, not take it into my whole heart, and to say, then rather than doing that, I'm going to dial up my spiritual practice, or I'm going to try a new spiritual practice on. Instead of focusing on what I can deprive myself of or giving up something, I'm going to encourage and look at embracing this Lenten season as an opportunity to take on something new, whether it be a higher level of gratitude. I have daily practices of gratitude already. How can I extend that? Can I extend my own gratitude by speaking it out loud, by sharing it with somebody, by getting a witness in it? It could be by writing gratitude notes. It could be by making a list of the things I'm grateful for. I've put here on the recordings before a 3-minute rant, a 3-minute rant of gratitude daily. And then intentional acts of kindness, random acts of kindness. And my teacher Byron Katie, used to encourage us to do, and she actually assigned it as an assignment to us, a spiritual, emotional assignment, to do 3 random acts of kindness a day, and with a caveat that if you get caught doing them, you got to start all over. So not only to do 3 random acts of kindness a day, but not to tell anybody, not to get caught at it. And boy, that'll trigger the part of us that wants to be a somebody, that's seeking approval and seeking appreciation and seeking acknowledgement, to do it selflessly instead. Selflessly, without anybody ever knowing that we're doing it. It could be to add a minute or two to my meditation, to add a minute or two of silence to my day. Only you know what you're up for and what you're willing to do. So Myrtle Fillmore says it as, you do not have a problem except the one that is in your own thinking. So we're responsible for whatever we're leaving there. Whatever is growing in that garden of our mind, we're responsible for it. So we may need to do some weeding, we may need to do some pruning, and we may need to do some planting during this season. And let this be a chance to clear up the mind, clear out some space, open up some new space, and absolutely welcome a spiritual revival in us, a spiritual renewal in us. And it's been modeled for us all along with in this case, Jesus as a master teacher, symbolizing this journey, a journey that he took also of self-discovery, of empowerment, and a preparation for his ministry, and a preparation for the ministry of you. You may be the only church anybody ever attends. You may be the only hope anybody gets sprinkled on them today. Me too. So just like in the journey of Jesus, it was a conscious time of silence, of deep communion with Spirit, of turning inward, strengthening our faith, and preparing ourselves for a greater expression of that which is true for us. So it is an invitation to a new depth of devotion, a more intentional relationship with Spirit, whether it be through contemplation, reflections, acts of service, prayer, whatever, all the above, maybe all the above, to deepen our spiritual commitment and affirm that it is in this devotion, in these devotional practices, in these devotional acts, is about awakening to the divine presence that is already indwelling us, not seeking that, but uncovering that, making room for that. So as we prepare for Easter, as we prepare for the resurrection of our own consciousness, to pause and ask, what is awakening in you? What maybe knocking on your own heart? What new possibility is ready to emerge, is waiting for some action on our part to emerge? I'm cheering you on, and I bow to you and join you in allowing Spirit to renew us, to transform us, not just our habits, but our very way of being, our way of being at depth, and that we are actively now move beyond simply giving up something to move into the consciousness of giving in to Spirit's transformative power. And as we let go, as we affirm, as we devote ourselves anew, we awaken to a greater truth of who we are, what we're actually about, what is true for us, and that it is that we are divine beings, already whole, already loved, and already free in and after the nature of the Christ consciousness, that exactly as God has made us, has made me, has made you. So, what would you do today? What would you claim for yourself today that would make this absolutely the time for it right here and right now? And I'll caution about some of the most common pitfalls on the path of spiritual transformation include spiritual bypassing, using spirituality to avoid feelings, using spirituality to avoid dealing with real emotions and inner wounds that we've had, many of us, since childhood, and to catch myself when I do this, to avoid this, doing any more of this, which I've done for decades, and I've witnessed it being done in spades for decades. Like, everything happens for a reason. God won't give me anything more than I can bear. Suck it up, buttercup. Wear your big girl panties. Sound familiar? It's all good. It's like awakening does not mean ignoring our humanity. It means including our humanity. So catch yourself if you can with any tendencies for spiritual bypassing, any resisting anything, any unwillingness to feel or to process, avoiding, suppressing, depressing, disowning, and denying our humanness, and including our humanness instead of ignoring our humanness. Caution around getting attached to experiences or anything else with the rapidly changing times we're in. Sometimes we get a spiritual glimpse of something new, and we may cling on to that, cling on to the moment, and then try our darndest to recreate it. And it's not to be recreated. True spiritual deepening comes interaction to interaction, moment to moment, person to person, place to place, as we stay grounded and faithful. Grounded and faithful, even when the bliss fades away, even and especially when the mountaintop fades, we stay grounded and faithful, step by step, interaction by interaction, person by person. And I know for me, a pitfall to my own spiritual transformation includes my judgment of others' paths. And as I awaken, it is tempting to judge those we perceive as less spiritual. Less spiritual, they're not spiritual. Instead of reminding myself that is not very spiritual of me to judge them as not spiritual. And their path is their own path. It's not my path. Everyone is on their path. Everyone has their own curriculum. And I will do well in my transformational process to stay in my own lane and to stay, as my mama would say, sweeping under my own feet. So, spiritual awakening is a series of moments when we can become aware that there's more to life that we can see, more to life than we see, more to life than we can touch or smell or measure. It is our soul's recognition of our source. The light of spirit is shining for you, through you, and as you. So this awakening then is not about chasing the light outside of ourselves, but realizing the light we already are. It is waking up right now again. It's not the end of a journey, but a beginning of taking responsibility for our own energy, taking responsibility for our own story, and responsibility for our own impact. What impact can I have here? And to dial up and dial down and deepen our own practices, whatever they are: stillness, silence, self inquiry, reflection, sacred readings, affirmative prayer, selfless service, serving others, spiritual community, accountability, knowing that we are here to help each other awaken to the truth of our being, to avoid the pitfalls, and to know that the measure of true spiritual awakening is not how long we meditate or how many books we've read, but it's absolutely how we live, moment by moment. How do we live? This is the test and the triumph of spiritual deepening and spiritual awakening. What in you is awakening? Where is your spirit inviting you to go deeper? And what's one practice or one action you can commit to this week as holy action, Holy Week work? I affirm, I witness in you your awakening to the light within you. You're deepened in the truth and love of who and what you are, and that you're living in the presence of spirit as spirit in the world. And that is my affirmation as well. Blessings to you in the journey, always and every way. marthacreek.com to contact me if I can serve you in any way. Love and blessings.